So I just read this book called The Mythmaker, Paul and the Invention of Christianity by Hyam Maccoby. Uh, so I learned some new words. Paul was not a... He converted to Judaism, but he was not born a Jew. He was... the point he's trying to make here is that, and I heard Joseph Campbell talk about this, what he did with that revelation on the road to Damascus was he realized that Jesus could be interpreted through the mythology of the mystery religions, the mystery cults, the death and the resurrection of the Savior. The Jews didn't see it that way. Jesus didn't see it that way himself. I'm speaking about the book here. But very interesting read. This was a very interesting read. Paul kind of, it gave me some more appreciation for Judaism and for Pharisaic thought. Paul was not a Pharisee. He makes that point very. There was some doctoring, playing fast and loose with the truth going on, and the epistles were written before the Gospels. That was interesting, I thought. So, and before the book of Acts, I guess, too. So, what he points out in this book are lots of inconsistencies, and I thought that was really interesting. I went to a Christian school, and I read much of the Bible not knowing context and not knowing context. I was a kid, and you're just reading it and you're taking everything at face value, and what he's doing in this book is he's kind of breaking things down and showing some inconsistencies. And this came out in 1986. I guess it was very controversial when it came out. He mentions the Ebionites, who were a branch of the Gnostic religions, that they saw Paul as a bullshit artist. And of course, with this book reminds me of Christopher Hitchens' book, God is Not Great. I don't know if you've read that, but all this, and of course this book was written before the Israel-Gaza stuff that's going on now. So just really interesting stuff, man. Reminds me of some Joseph Campbell. I was a Christian from the time I was like 8 years old until all through high school. I lost my faith when I went to college, and I never got it back. I do not believe in Jesus Christ as the Son of God that rose from the dead. I don't believe in sin. I don't believe in heaven or hell or sin, but I respect people who do. I just, it's books like this that get me to look at the problem from a different angle, and I always appreciate a fresh perspective. Now it makes me want to read. Oh, if you haven't read the Gospel of Thomas, that's interesting. That book, it was dug up in Egypt in 1945, and it's the sayings of Jesus, not so much what Jesus did, not the narrative, but the sayings of Jesus, which are very interesting. And there's a whole chapter on the reason Jesus was crucified, and what he says is because he was a threat to the Roman state. And the Sadducees, the high priests, they were in bed with Rome. The Romans used them to keep order. So this was a fascinating read. You know, I used to read books voraciously, and after COVID and 3 years of after 3 years or so of stress, and not just COVID, but what I was going through in my life, living with roommates and the worst roommates, dope fiends, prostitutes, child rapists on the sex offender registry. I lived in a group home with them for a year and 7 months. Every day of my life was a fucking nightmare. So 3 years of all that stress, and one day my brain just went click, and I wasn't able to read anymore, and it's coming back now. So I'm very happy to get back into this literature. And I'm reading books from the library because I've got a bookshelf full of books that I'm not reading. And I know it's fun to buy books, man, but I don't need any more damn books. What I need now is to read the ones I got, which hopefully I can get more back into it now that COVID's over and life's more manageable. But yeah, man, this was a very interesting book. And now I want to know more about why which books were chosen to be in the Bible, who edited it, who collated it. You know, I want to know more because, you know, I never like taking anything at face value. I always want to know deeper into the story. So, yeah, man, The Mythmaker, Paul and the Invention of Christianity by Hyam Maccoby. Really cool read.